We are heading into overtime on 1620 The Zone.
Shock the system.
Welcome to the After Hours Lounge on 1620 The Zone, the 1620 The Zone app, and 1620thezone.com. When 6A to 6P isn't enough, the boys have you covered. Here's Jimmy Allen and John Schreiner.
Hello, and welcome into the After Hours Lounge on this Friday edition. The work week is done. Pull up a stool. We'll get you through the rest of the evening. John Schreiner here with you. Dan Campanen is pushing the buttons on the other side of this desk. Jimmy Allen is lost somewhere in the snow. I'm not sure where Jimmy's at, but he will not be in tonight. So it's me and it's Dan, and that's what you're going to get. So don't complain. This is the way it's going to go. Okay, here's the show we got for you tonight. Coming up at 6:15, I'm going to talk about firing coaches for cause. Was there a canary in the coal mine recently? At 6:30, John Walker is going to come in, talk to us about the weekend ahead for the Creighton Blue Jays. Dan's going to have a social media soundbite and some buy or sell questions. We got some more chatter about the spring pressers, some things we didn't get to last night that we want to go over again. There's more eligibility problems in the NCAA. We'll get to that at some point tonight, and we'll close out with our closing arguments and get you on your way for your weekend here in snowy Omaha, Nebraska. But we're going to start the show tonight with a question that has been on my mind for a while. And you know, we have kind of talked around it a little bit on the show at various points. And the question is, well, it's always the question at this time of year when you start thinking about Nebraska football, spring ball starts, and we ask ourselves that question, what's wrong? What's wrong with the program? Why can't they get it right? What is actually happening in Lincoln, Nebraska to keep Nebraska football from winning more games than they have, from being a successful program, from being in the conversation nationally? Because frankly, they just haven't been. It's been a long time, as I'm sure you're all well aware, since you can really say that the program was relevant on a national scale. And I think we try to answer this question every spring. Why aren't we any good? Because you look at the resources, right? Facilities, A+.
Mm-hmm.
Fan support, A++. Financial situation, I would say B+. Don't have as much to spend maybe as some other schools, but you don't have the debt that some other schools have either, right? So
you're not making that trade-off.
Yes, there are just so many things right for the program. So why haven't they won? And I've tried to answer this question in a number of different ways. And I think I've finally settled on what I think it is. And it is mentality. It is absolutely about the mentality that pervades the program, the fan base, the university system as a whole. And this has all sort of come together and congealed into this idea in my mind on the back of the Bill Moose book,
mm-hmm.
and the recent press conferences, which Jimmy and I, dived into a little bit about Matt Rule's comments yesterday. But it all sort of becomes concrete now that it's not necessarily that they don't have the players that are good enough. It's not necessarily that they don't have a good enough coach. It's not necessarily that the schedule's too hard. But that all plays into it. And it's that mentality, and it's a loser mentality. It is the constant excuse making. Well, we got screwed by the refs. We can't win these one-score games. Well, Big Ten screwed us with the schedule. We don't have as much money to spend as everybody else. This is all loser mentality stuff. This is all making excuses for why you didn't get the job done.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you go and look into the admissions from the Bill Moose book about well, we were trying to get back into the Big 12. Loser mentality. That is absolute loser stuff. And like, you can talk to me about wanting to get back to the natural rivals and the geographic look. You are running away from a conference that has had your number. That is a loser mentality. Trying to get out of the Oklahoma game, which was widely explored in that book. Trying to cancel a game against your number one historical rival, that is a loser mentality. And so I don't want to pin it all on the current iteration of the coaching staff, because I do think there are some things that Matt Rule and company have done to try and eliminate that. They have done some things to try and get rid of that. But for some reason, it has not been exercised fully. It has not been cut off fully from the program as a whole. And look, that starts all the way at the top of the institutions.
Yeah. Okay.
It starts beyond the coaching staff. And we talked a little bit about this when the Moose book broke, that when you have regents, university presidents sticking their nose in daily business of running a football program, we have problems. That is way too many cooks in the kitchen. Like, it just seems to me that there has been institutional failure that has contributed to this mentality for far too long. It's not going to get better until that stuff changes. That the whole attitude of, well, we had this one injury. We had this injury that prevented us from winning. Nobody cares. Nobody, go to work. Go to work and win the game. We the schedule just didn't set up in our favor. We had these bad trips we had to take. We had to go from coast to coast, and so does everybody else. That kind of stuff. While it might be true, yes, you had to go from coast to coast. Yes, you had an injury. But when you start pointing at those things and using them as reasons why, you are giving yourself an out. And in major college football, there can't be an out. It is put your head down and move forward. It is charge on. Like, I'm so loath to do this because I generally hate when this happens. But if you just compare it to the 1994 season, when Nebraska was on their third string quarterback, a walk-on from Wahoo, Nebraska, they still won. They won those games.
Yeah,
they didn't use it as an out. They didn't say, well, we could have won, but had our third string quarterback. That is the absolute difference, is mentality. And there's another piece of this that is entitlement. Okay? Because there is no sense of being the underdog when you step on campus at Nebraska. You have the best facilities. You have constant, unwavering fan support for the most part.
So that's the one that I want to push back on a little bit.
Okay.
Because when you say like constant, unwavering fan support in we are all attending the games, it is sold out, and and on and on and on and on. Yes, I would consider that unwavering fan support. You get me on that side. That's very much we show up, we take the quote unquote pain with, whomever is sitting next to us at these games. What I won't allow to be any sort of a thing that you're going to point out here, when the season starts to get bad, Nebraska fans sour faster than anyone.
They still show up.
Yeah. You have the flu, you take the medicine. we're always going to show up. But does showing up and not being loud mean anything to anyone else? And because that's the one thing that I've always found a little bit interesting about. And, there's always the ebb and flow in the stadium. The vibe can shift and whatnot. But there's always something to me that when we start to lose and we lose big at home, that it's like pin drop silence. And that kind of, I don't think that brings me down to at least a B on the fan support. Because at least it's 90,000 people who are quiet.
Here's what I mean. A player at Nebraska never shows up and feels like and has to feel, maybe some do, maybe some don't. They don't have to feel like they have something to prove. They don't feel like necessarily that they have something to earn. They don't have to earn the support of the fans. It's already there. They don't have to earn the attention. It's already there. And for a program that's been down, that hasn't won a lot of games, I think you need to feel like you've got something to prove, that you've got something to earn. You should feel like you have to earn that fan support. You should have to earn a sold out stadium. You should have to show that you deserve it. And it's I'm not saying that they definitely don't deserve it. What I'm saying is I think there's an edge that's missing in that area of, like, when you look at Indiana and how down that program was, they came in and Curt Cignetti put them on the field with an edge, with a desire to prove to everyone that they could compete, with a desire to earn national recognition, with a desire to earn the press clippings, to earn the fans showing up to the stadium, because they weren't there in the beginning.
Yeah.
Cignetti's first few games, that was still a typical Indiana half-empty stadium.
Yep. Okay. That I will concede.
The Nebraska football program never has that. They never have to put that product on the field first. The support comes in immediately. The offseason national championship stuff, right? As soon as the season ends, as sour as the fans may have been, once we get to summer, Dan Campenon's picking them to go 10-2.
Yeah. It might even be earlier this year.
And you're not the only one, Dan. That's the thing. We have seen it in Unsportsmanlike Conduct does their poll, and they have shown year after year how fan opinion about how the season's going to go increases the closer we get to the start of the season. It's there, built in automatically. You don't have to earn it. It's going to be there. And when you combine that contributes to that mentality of, like, the only way I can say it is a losing mentality. It is not one of go out and prove it. It is one of we've already got it.
Do you think that has anything to do with the landscape of college football today, though, as well? Where if you're not getting the playing time, the monetary value, the recognition that you believe that you deserve, that you can just get up and walk away? After the season's done, you can say, I'm hitting the portal. I'll see you later. This, not for me.
I mean, you could get me there. I still think that overall it's a net positive that players have freedom of movement. Everything has its drawbacks, of course.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I'm saying, do you feel that
it could
enables a little bit of that entitlement?
I think, it certainly could. If it doesn't go right, I can always go somewhere else. I think that's because when you look at it, from an NFL perspective, it's like you're still under contract. So you're going to come here or they're going to trade you or cut you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. For the most part, college football teams at this stage, not too many guys are just getting told to hit the bricks. But with contract situations, like you've got to play out that contract one way or another. maybe not apples to apples, but I feel like the biggest problem is it's not that they're not getting good enough players. It's not that the coaches are bad. It is between the ears. It's totally about the mental aspect of being a winning program. And look, Nebraska football doesn't have it. I don't know. I don't know that you could look at it any other way when you view it from that perspective than they just do not have that winning mentality. And they haven't for a very long time.
Yeah. And you're getting depression, Dan, right now. So Husker football depression specifically. I'm perfectly fine mental health wise. According to me, not according to my wife, of course. But in winter football depression, Dan, I just don't, I'm still at the point where I agree with you 100%. I don't think the winning mentality is there. And I know that, long gone are the days of the intense, you can, kind of coach like kind of a jackwagon and be a little bit more in the face and be a little bit more yelly, screamy. And you kind of sometimes have to treat some of the players with a little bit of a kid glove. But I don't know. After watching that, 04, 05 or whatever it was, when Florida went on their run with Tebow, and he put them all in the weight room and said, you're going to go through one of the hardest workouts you've ever had in your life, and you're all doing it. I don't care if you're a 5-star, a no-star, a walk-on. I think something needs to be made of that mentality needs to be brought back, at least for a little bit at Nebraska. I don't care who you are, you got to win.
It is a game about mental toughness as much as it is anything. And a lot of sports is, but I think football especially, if you are not right between the ears, it's not going to work. It is just not. There has to be an intense level of want to and a desire to prove not only to yourself, but to the man across from you that you are going to dominate. And I think it's popped up at times, but man, all the losses to Minnesota, that's all mentality. Those are mentality games. That has nothing to do with scheme. That has nothing to do with talent. That has to do with mentality. Like every single time. The losses to Iowa, mentality. It truly is about desire. And until we can see some of that come back, until that can return, and again, this is top to bottom. Nobody is immune. Until that changes, nothing changes. And that's what I've landed on. That is actually kind of a revelation for me, because I've struggled with this question for a long time of like, it seems like all the pieces are in place. Why can't they get it done? This is where it is. And it's really crystallized over the past couple of weeks as to what it really is for me. And that's what it's about. And I think we'll see fairly quickly with the schedule upcoming for Nebraska, what the mentality of this team, has it actually changed? Has all the roster turnover and the new personnel and the new coaching staff, has that made a difference? I don't know. We're going to find out, though.
I mean, I hope so. If you thought last year was tough and was hard to watch, if there's not a big change this year is going to be even harder to watch and even tougher to stomach for a lot of Nebraska fans.
Yeah.
Myself included.
Yep.
That being said, check back in with me in July.
All right.
I'll be happy.
Well, if you missed any of our opening segment tonight, you can always check it out again at 1620thezone.com under the After Hours tab. And it's where all of our past episodes, past segments, you can find them right there. And it's brought to you by Aloe Fiber. Neighborhoods all across the state. I've made it clear there's no place like Nebraska. And That's why Allo calls Nebraska home. Born and raised right here in the Cornhusker State, Allo brings people together with connections. So you can go to allofiber.com/Husker Radio and sign up for service with a provider that picks Nebraska. The provider is the official internet TV and mobile provider of the Huskers. Coming up next, was there a canary in the coal mine with Jerome Tang? That's coming up next here on the After Hours Lounge on a Friday. Hey, everybody, it's John here once again for Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Jerry Ryan, 78th and Dodge. You know the place. You know how to get there. You know what they've got. Mizzen and Maine, Johnny O, Roan, the all-new Brax pants. If you're looking for some great gear with your Creighton, with your Husker logos on it, they've got you covered. I'm tonight wearing my Horn Legend quarter zip with the Creighton logo on it. I absolutely love this quarter zip. It is so comfortable. It looks great. If you are in the market for some new gear, I highly advise you to stop in 78th and Dodge, Jerry Ryan. Get your hands on some of this great gear that they have in stock right now. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can try it on. You can walk out knowing it's going to fit you exactly the way you want. And wedding season right around the corner. Don't rent, buy, you own it. It's yours forever. You're going to look great. They're going to get you fitted. It's going to be awesome. You're going to love it. Check them out, 78th and Dodge, Jerry Ryan Clothing and Sportswear. Dress in Omaha for over 50 years.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Skies become mostly cloudy tonight, eventually low down to 12. Watch out for icy spots and refreeze on sidewalks, parking lots, and lesser traveled streets into Saturday morning. Saturday, skies become partly sunny, but still cold, a high of 27. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Ranby from KETV Newswatch 7.
Omaha Mavericks hockey is in Tempe tonight to take on Arizona State. Puck drop scheduled for 8 o'clock, and you can listen to all the action on News Talk 1290 Coil. It's UNO at Arizona State tonight on your home for Maverick hockey, News Talk 1290 Coil.
Hey, Jays fans. Oops. You know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Bring the outside in with an exclusive year-round sunroom from Remodel Nebraska. Locally owned and operated, we design and build custom sunrooms, patio covers, decks, and more. Perfect for enjoying our changing seasons. Voted #1 best of Omaha in sunrooms, our team turns your vision into reality. Remodel-ne.com.
Invite the outdoors in with a sunroom. Remodel Nebraska.
Diet Coke Cherry is making a return, and Chesterman Coca-Cola is bringing the flavor back to Omaha. Find Diet Coke Cherry 12 packs right now at Hy-Vee, stacked high on pallet displays and end caps. Just in time for the big show. That crisp Diet Coke taste with a bold cherry twist. Perfect for game night, family night, or anytime you want something refreshing without the sugar. But don't wait. This is a Hy-Vee customer favorite, so get yours today.
The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you. And for college sports, visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in the romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
Every Friday, we bring you discounts to some of your favorite businesses in Omaha. This weekend's deal is to Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill. Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill serves pizza with an unforgettable pizza sauce and fresh ingredients in unique combinations of bold flavors. Stop in and check out Timber Creek's family-friendly dining environment while enjoying a popular adult beverage. Timber Creek Pizza Pub and Grill at 178th and Harrison. Head to OmahaWeekendDeals.com now to get yours. That's OmahaWeekendDeals.com.
Get the truck you love and never pay a dock fee, only at Baxter Ford. That's right, pay for the vehicle, not the paperwork. Save on our incredible selection of new Ford trucks, F-150, F-150 Lightning, Super Duty, Maverick, and Ranger, and shop with confidence, knowing you'll never pay a dock fee. Experience our helpful way to buy a car, with no handoffs, no hassles, and absolutely no hidden fees. Shop now at BaxterFord.com.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Back with you here on a Friday on the After Hours Lounge. John Schreiner, Dan Campanen, no Jimmy Allen tonight. So we'll get you through this Friday evening. Hope you didn't have too much trouble shoveling this morning. We got some comments about snow removal from the night shift tonight. Captain and J-Man both lamenting the amount of snow that they had to remove. Hey, it took me an hour to get rid of all the snow in my driveway this morning. So I'm sure most of you out there are feeling the same way. It was rough. It's not fun. But here we are. We all made it. We're all alive. And we get to talk about sports. So what could be better, right?
Speak for yourselves. Shoveling is very fun.
First hour, as always, brought to you by Bellevue University. If you're looking for some education, Bellevue might be the place for you. No classes on Fridays. You can do most of it online. They have undergrad. They have advanced degrees, whatever you need. Bellevue can make it fit for you. Check them out at bellevue.edu. So Jerome Tang was the head basketball coach at Kansas State.
No longer.
And I haven't been in to the show since it happened, so I haven't really gotten to talk about it. But I have some thoughts about the way this whole thing went down with Jerome Tang. And I think it says something about the state of college athletics right now about what is happening with him specifically.
Okay. By the way, you're taking a slightly different bend to this issue than Jimmy did,
okay,
in a sense.
All right. He was ostensibly fired for the comments he made in a post-game press conference. I will read those comments, the ones that the university specifically pointed to that say warranted him being fired with cause. Here's the quote. "These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university, and I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. It is just ridiculous. We've got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer and no words. Right now, I'm like pissed." That warranted him being fired with cause, which means no buyout.
Yes.
It all sounds fairly benign to me.
It sounds like anything that you would hear from, I would reckon, maybe 90% of coaches after a bad loss and after an ugly loss too.
Now,
lest we forget, that was a bad game for K-State.
They didn't play well. But compare that to with what Doug Gottlieb did in a post-game press conference. Dan? All right, you can cut it there, Dan.
Okay.
That's the gist of what I was getting. Now,
Doug Gottlieb mad.
Kansas State said that Jerome Tang's comments were somehow unbecoming of a representative of the university. Now, Doug Gottlieb has been suspended for a game by the Horizon League for his comments. So he is facing consequences for that. However, he's not being fired for it. And I would say that his comments were far more unbecoming than anything Jerome Tang said. As far as I know, Jerome Tang wasn't pounding his fists on the table and knocking the microphone loose from its stand and dropping an F-bomb in a press conference. He didn't do that. So explain to me the difference. Better yet, I'll explain to you the difference.
I was going to say, did you see the whole Jerome Tang press conference before we go any further?
I did see it, yes.
Because it is the most calm and measured coach speak of a thing that I've ever seen.
He looked extremely disappointed. He wasn't mad. He was disappointed.
Deflated.
Yeah. The thing is, Kansas State wanted to move on from Jerome Tang. They wanted a new head basketball coach, and they didn't want to pay the buyout. So they've taken this, and they have tried. Now, it's going to be put before a judge, and it's going to have to be adjudicated in court. We are not near the end of this thing with Kansas State. But I do think that this is, as I said, a canary in the coal mine. I think in the current state of college athletics, you are going to see more and more and more of these things happen. When a program, basketball, football, whatever it is, when they want to get rid of a coach who is under contract, who has a significant buyout, Jerome Tang's is somewhere in the neighborhood of $13.5 million, I think. They're going to try to find ways to say that it is for cause so that they do not have to pay these buyouts. Because of the necessity of revenue sharing. They need to save now as much money as they possibly can. The days of Jimbo Fisher getting a $95 million buyout are gone. We are going to see more of these things end up in court for the simple reason that they need to not pay out that money off the bottom line. In my opinion, Jerome Tang didn't do anything in his press conference to warrant being fired. If you want to suspend him because you can say that his comments were disrespectful to the student athletes, whatever, that's your prerogative.
Yeah.
I don't think you have a leg to stand on when it comes to firing him for these comments.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it's not to say that Green Bay couldn't have fired Doug Gottlieb for what he did in his press conference. I think they could have tried. But even that seems a little bit egregious.
Well, and so the kind of, I don't want to say apples and oranges, the Honeycrisp versus the Golden Yellow here, like Jerome Tang is a long-serving Kansas State basketball coach who, for the most part, has had like a pretty decent modicum of success for them.
Yeah, he's gotten them to the second weekend. And
yeah, whereas Doug Gottlieb has had quite literally no success or very minimal success at Green Bay, and they have not been great. And if you were to take actions and consequences, Doug Gottlieb is the one who you would expect to actually be fired on just like the face of that statement.
The other thing is, Dan, that we're talking about vastly different sums of money.
That is true.
From what Doug Gottlieb is owed versus what Jerome Tang is owed. And this is definitely a transparent move by Kansas State to save money. They wanted him out because the team hasn't performed to the level that they wanted it to this season. They want to make a change, and they don't want to pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to pay out that contract, so this is the excuse. And I'm telling you, you're going to see more of this. more and more we are going to see schools start to try to fire coaches with cause to get out of buyouts.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. This is the start of a big rash of these things. Just put it on the board. I can see it coming. I think this is absolutely the direction that things are going in the world of college sports and coaching and contracts.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting because you kind of worked your way around in a sense, or like didn't really touch on it, but it was kind of like the start of your point, I think, that you were trying to make and did make, is that this is a Kansas State issue.
Yeah.
And that was the bend that Jimmy took from it, is he was like, with the Chris Kleiman firing and now, or
stepping down,
quote unquote, and the Jerome Tang firing with cause. He's like, I don't know if this was a Jerome Tang and Chris Kleiman issue or if this is a Kansas State issue.
Yep.
Which it's pretty obvious which one is what.
Yep. I don't know, but it'll be interesting to see how many more of these come up as this goes along. If you missed any of that segment, you can always check it out on the radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. It's under the After Hours tab, and it's brought to you by Pasta Amore. The boys got some Pasta Amore on Tuesday, and if you are in need of some good Italian food, let me tell you about Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village. They have got it going on. Plus Sundays, the deep dish pizza. I'm telling you, it's the best deep dish pizza in town. Get there on a Sunday, get the deep dish pizza, get the vodka sauce pizza. You will not regret it. It's like an all meat white sauce deliciousness. You got to go. You got to tell them After Hours sent you, and you got to get that great deep dish pizza from Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village. When we come back, John Walker from the Omaha World Herald talking us through what's up next for the Creighton Blue Jays. After Hours on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's John here for Bob at Williams Law. Were you wrongfully terminated from your position as a college basketball coach? Probably not, because you're probably not a college basketball coach, but you may be facing an employment situation where you may need to take your former employer to court. And you know what you need in that case? You need good representation. You need someone who can get you set up and get you in the right lane for something like that. Bob Williams, that's your guy. He's going to sit down with you for a free, no obligation legal consultation where he's going to explain your rights, walk you through the process, and get you ready for that big day in court. And it doesn't have to be that. Criminal, civil, personal, whatever it is, Bob's got the legal expertise to get you where you need to be. If you got legal questions, you need Bob in your corner. Check out WilliamsLawLLC.com.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Post Coffee stands as the vibrant heart of every break room, offering the unique fusion of traditional quality and modern flair. We're not just your coffee provider, we're the center of memorable workplace moments. Call Host Coffee today.
Proudly serving Nebraska since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
At Timber, they don't just give you a place to go for lunch or dinner. They give you an experience. From their bold, smoky flavors prepared in the open concept kitchen where you get to watch the magic happen, to the relaxing umbrella-shaded patio. There's something for everyone at Timber. Join them for brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9:30 to 2, plus happy hour from 2 to 5:30 Monday through Saturday, and 2 to close on Sunday. Timberwood Fire Bistro in the heart of Omaha at 84th and Pacific.
Many people go back to the dealership out of habit or because they think the dealer is the only one who knows how to fix their car. At Omaha Car Care, we offer a better option. We have ASE certified technicians, the technology to service any vehicle, and free loaner cars. The dealer will sell you a package of services. We'll provide the service you want for your car as your trusted partner. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit ReconPestServices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
Now back to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
No Jimmy Allen tonight. It's just me and Dan. And we got a guest on the line here. As always, we're brought to you by Bellevue University. But let's get straight into it. We've made him wait just a little bit. It's John Walker from the Omaha World Herald. Johnny, how you doing tonight?
What is up, John? What is up, Dan? How are you guys? And I'll say what's up to Jimmy too, even though he's not with us.
Yeah, he's a little under the weather tonight. He's dealing with that sickness that's going around that I'm just getting over myself, honestly. So I think everybody in, I don't know, America's had it at this point. So yeah.
The Oma Dome, that is the only type of weather the Oma Dome could not protect us from.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, so we haven't talked to you since the UConn game. Just your assessment of the level of, I don't know, shock that Creighton won that game in the fashion that they did.
Yeah, I mean, they were a 15.5-point underdog. I think they were plus 920 money line. Like, Vegas would tell you that was not supposed to happen on Wednesday night. And because of what I think was Creighton's most complete game this season, it absolutely happened. And the thing is, John, like, the team we saw Wednesday, for like warts and all, is the team that we were supposed to see all season. Now, in a perfect world, does Jackson McAndrew get hurt? Obviously not. In a perfect world, is Owen Freeman like a DNP? No, absolutely not. But the way and the manner in which the Jays played Wednesday with free-flowing offense and defense that was good enough when it had to be is exactly what we expected this group to be, and everything that they had not been through the first 3.5 months of the season, and everything that they were on Wednesday night to beat the number 5 team in the country. So all of that's a long, meandering way to say I was as shocked as anyone. I had an odd feeling on it. Like, we recorded Half Court Press yesterday, and and Wilson and I talked about, like, I had this weird feeling that I told him and a couple of other people on Wednesday, like, Creighton's going to pull this off. But I don't think even I wholeheartedly believe that.
Yeah.
Because, again, like, against all odds, the Jays were not supposed to win that game, and somehow, some way, they did. So, yeah, a huge shock in college basketball. That is a jolt in the arm that the Jays badly needed, and a loss that UConn could not afford if it wanted to remain on the one line.
It's funny to me because I think, like you just kind of always expect that Creighton's going to beat UConn once, and maybe this year was like, you're like, oh, maybe this is the year they don't do it, but they ended up doing it anyway. And then when you contrast that game against UConn with the one they played against Marquette, and I don't think you could look at the Creighton that played Marquette and the Creighton that played UConn and think that those two teams have anything in common, really. Like, those juxtapositions make it so baffling.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing is, like, and again, this is what Wilson and I talked about. We'll find out tomorrow at the Garden if Wednesday was just like a really good night, a really good 40 minutes of basketball, if it was a flash in the pan, or if it was the start of something. Now, what I mean by the start of something is not that, like, this team's going to go run the table and whatever, but, like, can this team string those kind of performances together? Can this team build momentum before it goes to Madison Square Garden here in 3 weeks and has to cut down the nets to get to a 6th straight NCAA tournament? Like, can this group do that? Can this group be the group it was for 40 minutes Wednesday at UConn? We'll find out, obviously, but, like, that's the crazy thing is usually, Greg McDermott is going to figure it out. Like, come hell or high water, come short bench, long bench, injured players, healthy roster. Like, Greg McDermott has proved over the course of his career, and especially over now his 15-plus seasons at Creighton, that he is going to figure it out, and the Jays are going to get it done. And obviously, for one reason or another, and for many reasons combined, it took this team forever to get to that point. So, yeah, like, we'll certainly find out against St. John's and over the 3 regular season games after that, which is absolutely insane to say, whether Wednesday was just one solid performance, a really good performance, or if it was the start of something.
And I think one of the things that really stuck out in that game was the difference of Nick Graves, right? He looked like, I think he started to finally look like the player everybody thought Creighton was getting in that game. And I wonder if you think, is that sustainable? Can he continue to be that guy? Or was this just Nick Graves' best night in a Creighton uniform?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both. Like, it was absolutely his best game in a Creighton uniform. I guess you could argue the fiery 3-minute stretch in the home game against Marquette, but, like, all things considered, last night was Nick Graves' best, or Wednesday. Goodness, days are getting away from me here. Wednesday was Nick Graves' best game in a Creighton uniform, absolutely. But John, I think a large part of that had to do with the style with which Creighton played, because Nick Graves was like 15th in the country last year. Took the 15th most free throws in the country last year. He was really, really, really hard to stop at Charlotte when he intended on getting to the rim, when he applied rim pressure. And that was Creighton's game plan last night. So I don't really think it's a coincidence that Nick Graves' best game in a Creighton uniform came in a game in which the Jays finally, willingly, relentlessly attacked the rim. But boy, it certainly helps when the point guard finally settles into this system, because we've seen, think of recent memory, Ryan Nembhard, Stephen Ashworth. Obviously, it took time for R2 to settle in because he was a freshman. And it took time for Stephen to settle in because he picked up a system that was drastically different than what he was in at Utah State. But they both had grace periods, and they needed adjustment periods, and they were both phenomenal point guards at Creighton, albeit a little different from each other, right? But they were both phenomenal at what they did. So it just took time, and we knew it was going to take time for Nick Graves to settle in to the system. And I think he's really, really, really started to grasp it over the past couple of weeks. And I think him going back into the starting lineup would confirm it.
So I think probably ahead of that UConn game, the hope index for Creighton was as low as you can get for making it to the tournament. Maybe it's a little higher now. Maybe there's at least a small ray of light there in the hope index. If they can go out and beat St. John's, what does that do?
Yeah, it would give this team back to, it's not going to put them on the bubble. And I think that's the important thing to understand.
Yeah.
They're not going to beat St. John's. They're not going to beat UConn. And heck, they're not going to beat Providence, DePaul, and Butler and just poof, be back in at-large contention. It's unfortunately too late for this group to do that. But what beating UConn and beating St. John's would do is show Creighton you can do this. And that sounds really simple, but you need one or two of those wins a season. Think about last year. This group struggled, not this group, obviously, but that group struggled mightily in Vegas for injuries, for cohesion's sake. For one reason or another, they just did. And then they came back and in early December got a win over number 1 Kansas at home. That was the kind of game that made them realize, oh, man, we can beat these kind of teams. And now Creighton didn't have one until February 18th. So if you get two this time of year, as late as it may be, this team would then have the faith in knowing, hey, we can beat the UConns, we can beat the St. John's of the world, of the league. And when we go to the tournament, because as it stands now, they're probably going to be in the 4-5 matchup with Seton Hall. So, they would then get either St. John's or UConn Friday night at the Garden.
Yeah.
That is a tall task either way. But this team would then know in the back of its mind that it went to Stores and beat UConn. And then let's say the improbable happens tomorrow. They would then know they could go to Madison Square Garden and beat St. John's. So it's not going to reinflate their NCAA tournament bubble. But boy, would it be a shot in the arm for this team to sweep this road trip of all road trips.
All right, so break it down for us. What does Creighton have to do to go out and get that improbable win against St. John's tomorrow? And how different is it beating St. John's from beating UConn?
Yeah, it's going to be a world of a difference because I think that we've all seen in Big East play that UConn has tempted fate far too many times. And the Huskies have some holes in their defense. Dan Hurley pointed that out. Creighton did hunt mismatches for 40 minutes on Wednesday night. You are not doing that against St. John's. The defense is too lengthy. It's too physical. It's too active. It's too good. And so I don't think Creighton's going to be able to just blow by St. John's in the manner in which it did UConn on Wednesday. But that's the strategy for this group. Have 5 shooters on the floor, which is what adding Fedor Zugic to the starting lineup did. You have 5 very capable shooters on the floor. And on Wednesday, that pulled Taurus Reed away from the bucket and opened up the lanes that Creighton drove. Now, obviously, in a perfect world, you run that same 5-out offense and you pull Zuby Ejiofor away from the bucket. The problem is, John, who do you possibly think you're driving by in that starting 5 of St. John's, And so that would be the challenge. Now, we saw as the game evolved on Wednesday, as Creighton hit shots, that pulled UConn back, or as they drove the lane, then UConn had to sink back in, and then Creighton steps outside and starts hitting shots. And that is the way this team, this roster was designed to win basketball games. And really, like, Wednesday was the first time they had done that for 40 minutes anyways. And so they're going to have to do it for another 40 minutes to take down Rick Pitino and the Red Storm tomorrow morning at the Garden.
Yeah. Well, just hoping it's a good watch tomorrow. I hope we get a good game and keep that if alive for another weekend.
Yeah, that would certainly do it.
Yeah.
Creighton has never won a regular season game at MSG. So now more than ever would be a hell of a time for the Jays to go and do it.
Yeah. All right, Johnny, what are you doing with your Friday night?
I am actually just chilling. I'm making up for covering basketball all last weekend with a late Valentine's weekend.
Oh.
So yeah, I am just doing a whole lot of nothing tonight.
Well, this is the night for it. I think this is the night for that. So.
Yeah, it certainly is. You
Yeah.
know, I am not like snowed in, and there's snow everywhere, and it's too darn cold to go outside. So I don't think I'm going to do much.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you joining us here tonight, and we'll be watching tomorrow for Creighton and St. John's.
All righty, y'all. Talk next time.
All right, thanks, John. That's John Walker of the Omaha World Herald. You can always check out him in the paper or at omaha.com. If you missed any of the segment with John Walker, you can always listen back at 1620thezone.com under the After Hours tab. And the segment tonight was brought to you by Controlled Comfort Heating and Air. Look, you've been out there, you've seen it, you know what it's like. And if your heating is showing some signs that it might be slowing down, you need to get that checked out. Controlled Comfort will be out, and they'll give you the peace of mind that your system is going to survive through whatever Mother Nature can throw at it. Check them out. Controlled Comfort. Coming up next, Dan's got us a social media soundbite. That's coming up on After Hours on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody. John here for Recon Pest Control. You've heard Jimmy talk about all the great work that Recon has done for him, getting the wasps out of his yard. Well, right now, it's cold out there, and there's snow covering everything. Yeah, I know. Big surprise, right? That means some of those little critters might be trying to find a warm spot to go. And if that is them coming into your house, well, you don't want that. If you need some help getting some of those creatures out of your house, give them a call. Recon Pest Control. That's the way. That's how you do it. That's who you call. That's how you get all those situations with the pests of winter under control at your house. Check them out. ReconPestServices.com.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Chandler Conway.
Have you been injured in an accident? You shouldn't have to fight with insurance companies or deal with medical bills alone. You need an experienced injury lawyer who'll protect your rights while you focus on healing. At Chandler Conway, our team understands the legal process and will handle your case with dedication. Our goal is simple: to secure the compensation you deserve. Call us today or visit chandlerconway.com for a free consultation. Don't face this challenge alone. Let us support you every step of the way.
Creighton starting left-hander Eli Nissen was days away from starting the 2025 season when he injured his throwing elbow. Nissen is back after a year of rehab and is a role model in the clubhouse, according to pitching coach Billy Mole.
I hope my kids grow up to be like him one day. How mature he is, how hard he works, and how competitive he is what I didn't really get to find out last year that I found out this year. He's put in all the effort to get healthy again. He's the poster child of what a college athlete should be.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit Recon Pest Services and get your home ready for a spring.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Control Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Free Bird Friday here on the After Hours Lounge. And camping on the ones and twos. Me on the other side of the desk. Jimmy is in urgent care. So just a little update on Jimmy's status. In case you thought he was just slacking and taking the night off. But he's actually pretty good. He's got something going on. Yeah. So we wish him the best, and ended up by Monday. Start of the second hour. On After Hours, and we bring you Dan Campiton's Social Media Center.
Indeed, we do. Obviously, if you are a fan of America, you know why I just played Freebird. That should have given away what Social Media Soundbite's going to be tonight. It's going to be the most unenthusiastic man on the U.S. national hockey team. And looking forward to playing against Canada. That is the most enthusiastic man. You can tell Austin Matthews super fired up for the gold medal match against Canada. He's ready to leave it all out there on the ice. You can just hear it in his voice.
Super pumped. Yeah. I'm excited for it. I think it's going to be great. USA, Canada. The games that they played, where it was just like fight after fight after fight. Obviously, they probably won't. With the Olympics.
So they're not. Both the Detroit brothers have actually come out and said, we're not doing that to start the game.
Yeah.
Because I don't think they legally can.
Get ejected.
I'm gonna say I think that actually like kicks you out of an Olympic game. So they're not gonna be doing that. But I just picked Austin Matthews because I got a kick out of that today. Where like all the other guys, it's like you need to put him and what's his name? Quinn Hughes in a room together and just listen to them talk about hockey if you want to fall asleep.
Yes.
It's just two guys who are like, yeah, hockey's
fun.
It's great. It's a great sport.
Super excited for the game and
really enjoy the fact that we play a game with a stick and whatnot. But I'm super excited for it.
I'm glad we got it. I'm glad that both teams made it to the gold medal match.
Yeah, I mean, shamefully on my part, I really wanted Finland to beat Canada.
Almost did.
Just simply due to the fact that I thought that would have been, just a real tick for like the United States to either not see Canada or like, just for the easy route to get a gold medal. But this game is going to be absolutely on fire the whole time.
And I just want to caution all the Team USA fans out there. Like, just because Canada struggled with Finland and USA mollywop Slovakia, don't take that to mean anything. The gold medal match is going to be a different beast.
And I would like to remind everyone that while the United States and Canada are probably 1 and 2
I wouldn't say probably, I would say definitely.
Are 1 and 2 in the world right now. Canada's had 2 games in which they've struggled.
Yeah.
The United States had to have a little bit of luck to beat Sweden the other night. And they're probably 2B, if not number 3.
What really sucks is that due to world politics, we don't get Russia in these Olympic Games. Like it really sucks that the Russian hockey team is not part of this, because like they're the other big monster out there, right?
Oh yeah. You'll remember, John, before we kicked off, I think it was like first or second day of the Olympics, I was like, how much different would this be if we had a Russian team here? Because I mean, you want to talk about, we went through their lineup and we were like, it's just a murderer's row.
Yeah.
It would have been just completely unfair. And you've got, your captain just ready to go. I know it kills. And he's been interviewed about it a lot, especially after, the last title that he won. Alexander Ovechkin is like the most ticked off that like he doesn't get to play for his home country right now.
And like, he's not going to be playing at the next Olympics. So
no,
this was his last chance. Much like it's, Sidney Crosby's last chance at the Olympics. Like, Ovechkin doesn't have any more years to play international level hockey. So this was the last chance. And it sucks that it has to be this way, but I think it does have to be this way, unfortunately. And now it's USA Canada for the gold, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm glad it ended up this way.
Yeah, I will be waking up at 6 a.m. so that I can make breakfast and get the table set, and I can have this hockey game rolling for my second to third cup of coffee.
All right. Well, that's the social media soundbite for tonight. And if you missed it, you can always check it out on the radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. And it was brought to you by Pixel Fire Marketing. Does your business post on social media every day? Do you not because you don't have time? Well, here's the solution for you. Check out pixelfiremarketing.com. Dan and the crew will sit you down and give you a roadmap to success for engaging your ideal client online and give you ads that will convert to sales. How do we know that? Because they do it for Jimmy's business on a daily basis. Head over to pixelfiremarketing.com tonight. Coming up next, we got Buy or Sell, written by the man, Dan Campanen.
Hey,
Jays fans, it's hoop season, and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Nova's Nation, the rivalry is back. Join us Thursday, February 26th at the CHI Health Center for Galaxy Night as your Omaha Supernovas take on the Atlanta Vibe in one of pro volleyball's fiercest rivalries. Cheer on Brooke Nunneviller and hometown stars Nora Assist to Break, Merritt Beeson, and Kiara Reinhart in an out-of-this-world showdown under the lights. Bring the noise, pack the house, and make CHI the toughest place to play in pro volleyball. Get your tickets now at the CHI box office or supernovas.com. The real game changer in college athletics, it's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity, because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
Elegance meets innovation at Woodhouse Lincoln. Discover the all-new 2026 Lincoln Nautilus. And for a limited time, enjoy exceptional financing offers. 0% APR for 48 months or 2.9% APR for 60 months. Browse in-store or shop online at woodhouselincoln.com today. With approved credit, must finance with Lincoln Automotive Financial Services. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
All right, we're back here with you. We got the Olympics on here in the studio here at 1620 The Zone. If you want to give us a call, go ahead and do that. 402-951-1620. We'll take your call. If you got anything you want to get to here on this snowy Friday night for me, John Schreiner, or for him, Dan Campanen. But in the meantime, we've got buy or sell. Dan has written these questions. I have not seen them, as is tradition.
As is the only appropriate way for me to write buy or sell.
So Dan, have at it.
Something that we've definitely talked about multiple times on this show, but he had to say something more about it today. So Charlie Baker, he's still saying it's not going to happen officially, but he is very much in favor of expanding the March Madness tournament to 76 teams. Buy or sell, expansion is a good idea.
I had a tweet about this the other day when he said this, and here's what I have to say about this. Hey, Charlie, you can't decide what eligibility means right now. You don't know who can and can't play collegiate sports. You can't seem to figure that out. Let's work on the eligibility issue before we do literally anything else. Let's not worry about expanding tournaments, and that is auxiliary. We've got to figure out who can and can't play in college athletics, and we have to get that sorted out post haste. Don't talk to me about expanding the tournament. The tournament doesn't need to be expanded anyway, and especially we don't need to worry about it now. Absolutely not.
Yeah, that was kind of sort of my thinking around it. I was like, 76 teams sounds great because I know what they're trying to get at with it. The more teams you have, the more time that this is going to be on TV, the more eyeballs that you have on your sport. And in an exceedingly bloated, to put it politely, media landscape that we have currently,
yeah,
it can't hurt to have more teams in the tournament. But it does, I think, hurt the standard of how many people make the tournament, because it's not like in the past we've seen like just horrid teams make the NCAA basketball tournament. The argument is always, well, the sixth best SEC team is better than the sixth best ACC team. And while that may be true,
or the sixth best ACC team is better than the MAAC champion.
It just makes no sense. Expanding is just dumb in general.
The tournament's perfect. Leave it.
I actually would argue that the tournament should just go back to 64 teams.
I'm fine.
And just leave it at 64. It was fine back then. It worked for years upon years. I don't know why we need to do more.
Yeah, I mean, the play-in games can be fun. I'm fine. Leave it the way it is. Whatever. But don't start adding more, please.
Nebraska head man Fred Hoiberg has finally addressed his fan altercation in the Iowa court storming. He has gone on record to say he batted the fan's phone away due to the worry that it would mess with his pacemaker. Buy or sell, this frees Fred of any sort of wrongdoing. He also called the Iowa staffer and apologized as well. I want to make sure that that's out there as well, that he took the correct steps and apologized to the fan/staffer.
So there is a potential. There is a possibility. This is from the National Institutes of Health, right? This is their official statement. In a pacemaker dependent patient, there is a possibility that electromagnetic interference from a cell phone may lead to inhibition of pacing that can result in syncope. It may lead to asynchronous pacing, which can cause symptoms, or in an extremely unlikely scenario, may lead to ventricular arrhythmia. What does all that mean? Yes, it could happen. Probably it won't.
Yeah.
I don't know that it is a good enough excuse to say that in this exceedingly rare event of a cell phone being near you, because let's be honest, do you think Fred Hoiberg uses a cell phone?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
At least I would hope he does. It'd be weird if he
Do you
didn't.
think that people near Fred Hoiberg use cell phones? I would bet 100% that people use cell phones near Fred Hoiberg. It is not a good enough excuse, in my opinion, for him to have done what he did. We talked about this a little bit. I understand where it comes from. I get the frustration and the anger and the idiocy of the fan who was trying to get a reaction. And like we went in depth on this yesterday, like it's the social media, get a reaction, get attention from putting the video out there. That's the whole motivation behind doing this. Like social media has made people into jerks. There's no doubt about that. Fred's got to be better. I don't think he is completely absolved from doing what he did. And to J-Man in the night shift, a cell phone could stop Fred's heart. No, it couldn't. Not according to the National Institutes of Health. It could lead to asynchronous pacing or arrhythmia. That is not the same as stopping his heart. It could cause him problems. Fully agreed. I don't know that it fully absolves him of doing what he did. Now, it doesn't seem like he's going to get any punishment for this. It like the league has looked into it. The university is not going to do anything about it. In fact, Iowa apologized for the conduct of their fan already. I think it was totally on the fan. I think the fan was in the wrong and caused the incident to begin with. The fan was the instigator, and if anyone deserves to be punished, it's the fan. I still think in that situation, as the head coach of a Division I institution, you have to be better. That's my opinion.
Yeah, my biggest thing with it is if that's the explanation and he, the fact that he called the fan or the staffer or whoever it was at Iowa and made the apology and said, hey, I'm sorry, I overreacted, but, I was protecting myself and I was protecting the guys in the handshake line. It's a weird place to have someone, just like shove a phone in your face. I'm a little bit on Fred's side with that one. When he gave the explanation of the order of events and how it kind of happened, I can understand that. And also in a court storming-esque situation, I like the court storming. I agree with court storming. I agree that if you beat a number one team or anything like that, you should storm the court, storm the field, do all the things as a fan of your institution or your sports team to celebrate that. But you don't need to get in the face of the head coach. And at the same time, Fred Hoiberg, to your point, John, and I do agree with it, that he does need to know better and do a little bit better, not to engage with the crazies who are in his face.
Yep.
It's a fair thing. Moving on, the Seahawks, obviously, as we know them, are fresh off a Super Bowl, which also means they are on the hunt for some fresh faces to add to their coaching staff. The latest ad, Mr. Thomas Hammock, the now former head coach of Northern Illinois University. Buy or sell, you like to see a guy like Hammock get a chance.
Well, Hammock's already had this chance. He's been a coach in the NFL already.
He has.
I found it to be a little bit bizarre that he would leave a college head coaching job to go and be a position coach in the NFL. I assume the pay at Northern Illinois probably similar to be the head coach at Northern Illinois, to be a position coach in the NFL. Pay similar, would you say?
I would imagine, probably somewhere along the same line.
I mean, maybe slightly higher in the NFL, maybe.
But I don't think it would be that much higher.
Yeah.
I also can't imagine what his salary would be at NIU. Like 1.2?
He's somewhere in that neighborhood is kind of what my guess would have been.
Okay. So yeah, not far off then. Then probably.
I thought it was kind of weird. If you're already a collegiate head coach at the Division I level, like, is a step up to be a position coach in the NFL, unless he just really desires to be an NFL coach. Like, that's his actual his career goal is to coach in the NFL, like, which he's already done, and now he's going back to it. If that's he thinks that that's the path to becoming an NFL head coach, then I guess sure. But I just found that to be a little bit weird. I didn't understand it fully.
So the only thing that I truly thought on it, because I haven't seen any sort of a statement from Thomas Hammock yet, is that it's probably, in my opinion, just this is what his dream is. This is where he thinks his career needs to go for the next step. And in that regard, it's a great move. It's a great move for the Seahawks. You have a guy who understands how to win and, understands how to lead men and coach a team. And I like it.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago, we did a full-on preview show where we tried to get every, a beat writer and all that stuff. And Thomas Hammock was the only one who, even like when I sent out those emails and I said, hey, I want to speak to Thomas Hammock if at all possible, he was the only one who actually wrote me back and said, I will not do it. But I appreciate you reaching out.
Yeah.
Thank you for, thinking of me for your season preview.
That's funny.
I did a bunch of beat writers, and then it was Thomas Hammock was the only one who said, hey, no, I won't do that.
That's great.
Most of the athletic departments also, you're on my list of people who I will not reach out to again. Looking at you, University of Southern California.
Uh-oh.
One more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is he supposed to be a junior? I don't know. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is unretiring from professional boxing after his Mike Tyson exhibition. Let's remember, the man is 48. Buy or sell, Floyd can't be hurting for money.
Yeah, buy. He's not hurting for money. He's hurting for attention. Floyd's falling out of the public consciousness. Nobody cares about him right now. And that's what this is about. I think more than anything, Floyd can't stand to not be the story. It doesn't matter how much money he has. It doesn't matter anything else other than attention. He can't stand not to be in the spotlight. And that's I think what this is really about. I think it's an absolute joke. He's 48 years old. And why are you doing this?
Also, why is everyone coming out of retirement or just choosing as a professional-ish boxing opponent Mike Tyson?
Yeah, it's dumb. Stop it.
It would literally be like me walking up to like my grandfather and being like, hey, you and me, we're going to box in the ring. You ready for this?
He's like 60.
You got 6 months to train. Let's go.
No, this is stupid.
It's
and
disgusting.
I hope nobody pays attention to it, but they will.
I hope not. But yeah, like you said, people will pay attention to it.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's buy or sell. And if you missed it, you can always check it out again. And on 1620thezone.com under the After Hours tab, that's where all of our past episodes are located. And it was brought to you tonight by the fine folks at AX Plumbing. Look, sometimes even in the winter, bad things can happen with your plumbing, and that is not a situation that you want to have to deal with alone. That's why you get a hold of axpservice.com. They will come out, get you fixed right back up, have your pipes flowing the way they should, even in these cold temperatures. Check them out at axpservice.com. When we come back, second hour rolls along, and I'm going to talk to you about eligibility issues. Ineligible. You keep using that word. I don't think it means what you think it means. After Hours on 1620 The Zone. Hey, everybody, it's John here once again for Pasta Amore. If you need a date night suggestion, let me give you one. Pasta Amore, Rockbrook Village. Great atmosphere, great food, great place to take that special someone whom you love for a nice intimate meal and the food in front of you is going to be fabulous. All the great pasta dishes, handmade, on site. They've got the veal cutlets. They've got the chicken. They've got the pasta. They've got the steaks. Everything you could possibly want. It's all fantastic. You will not be disappointed. And the focaccia bread, absolutely perfect. Every single time we have gotten food from Pasta Amore, it has been awesome. Can't wait to get it again. And if you can't wait, make your reservations for Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village.
Weather from KETV Newswatch 7 is brought to you on 1620 The Zone by Certified Transmission.
Skies become mostly cloudy tonight, eventually low down to 12. Watch out for icy spots and refreeze on sidewalks, parking lots, and lesser traveled streets into Saturday morning. Saturday, skies become partly sunny, but still cold, a high of 27. I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Rainby from KETV Newswatch 7.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
I'm Doug Nodgaard with Equitable Bank. We know your time matters, so when you call us, we answer on the very first ring. That's our promise to you. We value your business and will treat you like a friend and neighbor, because more than likely, you are one. While other banks hide behind technology, we combine the best of both. Top-notch digital banking and online banking with people who care. Got a question or need help? We're just one ring away. At Equitable Bank, we take banking personally because you deserve it. Member FDIC.
Hey Jays fans, it's hoop season and you know what that means. Jerry Ryan has the best selection in town for all things Creighton gear. Stop by Jerry Ryan at 78th and Dodge for your quarter zips in all shades of Jays blue, plus jackets, vests, winter coats, you name it. They have it. Multiple Jays options for men and women from Peter Millar, Cutter and Buck, and Johnny O. Stop by Jerry Ryan Clothing and dress like the coaches do.
At Jerry Ryan's, we bring out the best in you.
Are you dreaming of your business dominating local Google searches, drawing in customers effortlessly? Look no further. I'm Courtney, the Google gal from Pixel Fire Marketing. Need assistance with your Google business profile? From verification to getting more reviews, fixing maps to tackling annoying Google calls? I've got you covered. Your profile sets you apart and ensures you're the top choice for local customers. Visit fixmygbp.com for our $297 special offer. Visit fixmygbp.com for more details.
Rail Cars Happy Hour is here. Stop by 144th and Blondo Monday through Saturday from 2:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. and Sunday from 2 to close, and enjoy $2 to $5 off appetizers, $1 off draft and bottles of beer, and delicious ciders. All signature cocktails are $10. Classic cocktails are $8, and every glass of wine is $2 off. Plus, Rail Cars' incredible brunch menu is on display 9:30 to 2 Saturday and Sunday. Rail Car Modern American Kitchen, 144th and Blondo.
Criminal, civil, personal. If you or a loved one is facing a lawsuit, let Williams Law represent you and your family today. With more than 20 years litigation experience in Nebraska, Williams Law will defend you with the dedication you deserve. If you're facing a DUI or if your son or daughter has been accused of a crime, Williams Law is here for you. Call 402-522-6317 to get a free, no-obligation consultation and to get the representation you deserve today.
Certified Transmission built its reputation on the job done right. It means hard work, honesty, and integrity.
And quality service that makes customers feel confident and secure in their vehicles.
At Certified Transmission, our expertly trained technicians diagnose, service, and repair transmissions.
And together, we ensure our customers leave satisfied and worry-free.
Certified Transmission, the job done right at the right price.
Find a location near you at certifiedtransmission.com.
It's another new year and another exciting edition of the Nebraska Lottery's popular Cash Blast promotion. You know how it works. Until March 24th, buy a 2x2 ticket and get a voucher. Enter online for a chance to win a $5,000 or $500 weekly prize. And if your winning voucher is from a 7-day draw ticket, your prize is double. So start out your 2026 with a bang. Enter the Cash Blast promotion today. 2x2 top prize odds are 1 in 105,000.
My name's Stephen Butler, and I own Controlled Comfort. And we've been in business for 6 decades. And in those 6 decades, I like to think that everything we do is about the art of comfort. It's about the skill of our people, but it's also about the integrity. Because at the end of the day, I value my employees, so they value you. And that's really all this is about. If you get cold this winter, think about us. We'll come help you out. We'll get you out of bind. It'll be fair, it'll be fast, and it'll be the right price.
Control Comfort keeps it under control.
You're listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
We're winding it down here on a Friday night on the After Hours Lounge. John Schreiner, Dan Campanen with you right here on 1620 The Zone. Before we get into the newest eligibility suit in NCAA news, I just wanted to go over the quote from Mike Eckler that dropped a while ago.
Yes, please.
He was asked about how he feels about his head coach coming in to special teams meetings, and he had a really interesting quote, and I can't find it again, but the gist of it is he said, "I'd feel really good about it because the last place I was at, the head coach never came to one meeting. And the place before that, meaning Nebraska, was the place he was at last, where he's saying the head coach never came to a special teams meeting. And he said the place I was before that, which would have been Tennessee, the coach was there at everyone. Like, so I think it's great. It just puts that extra emphasis on special teams. And that feels like a shot fired. And some other quotes have come out from Eckler over the past couple of days. And basically he said that his time at Nebraska was the first time as a coach that he didn't also coach something on defense. And that had a lot to do with him leaving. So you combine these two quotes together and it gives you a picture of why Mike Eckler was so keen to leave Nebraska, despite having completely turned the special teams unit around and had so much success with it, him wanting to move on. It seems like there was just a, not necessarily philosophical difference, but an organizational difference about how Mike Eckler thought the team should be run and how it was being run. And it it's just another mark in this quest to discover, like, what the hell is wrong with this program?
Yeah, so we kind of touched on it, and, all I really had to say as a gist the other night on Tuesday was what we all thought was true turned out to be true.
Yeah, he wanted to coach defense as well.
Yeah, he wanted a place on the defensive coaching staff. He was not allowed a place on the defensive coaching staff, and that's mainly why he left. But now to hear these quotes / see these quotes today written, it puts it into a bit of a new light.
Yeah.
To where you wonder if Mike Eckler was truly unhappy at Nebraska and had some serious
organizational differences.
Yeah, issues with the way that things were being run.
It seems like that's the case. And so I think we have our clarity of why he was so eager to leave. So there you go. That's that. Also today, another player, an offensive lineman from Purdue, has filed an eligibility lawsuit against the NCAA. He doesn't want his 2 years playing at the NAIA level to count against his NCAA Division I clock.
Why not, right?
And according to Ross Tellinger, this is the 57th eligibility lawsuit in the last 14 months against the NCAA. There have been 12 successful injunctions in those 56 previously. So it's not a high win rate. for the athletes who are seeking these injunctions. And Joey Aguilar was just denied in a Tennessee court today. His injunction was denied, so he's done. He will not be playing for Tennessee in the upcoming season. And look, I think we're just in a messy spot right now with what's going on. I think that everyone's trying to figure out what this all means. And they're seeking explanations from the courts as to how the rules that the NCAA has set forth can or cannot be applied to them. It is my opinion that the NCAA needs to be allowed to set terms of eligibility. I don't think that they should be allowed to set terms of how athletes can earn money. I don't think they should be allowed to do that. But I do think that an organization should have the ability to set terms of eligibility. Just as any company that requires you to sign up for a service, say, they have terms of service in which they are allowed to tell you you are no longer allowed to use this service because you have either, used up what eligibility you were afforded, or you were in violation of the way the service was intended to be used, or whatever it may be. They're allowed to set the terms of how their product or service or club or organization is allowed to be used. I think that we have to afford organizations some measure of control over their membership. Because if we don't, if you take this to the next logical extension, then we can no longer have youth sports organizations because you can't age out. And I understand that this is all being done under antitrust law, which wouldn't apply to youth sports organizations unless youth sports started getting monetary sponsorships. Then what do we do? If youth athletes started getting name, image, and likeness payments for some reason, then those youth sporting organizations should still be allowed to have age limits, right? The NCAA has a participation limit. You are allowed to participate for 5 years. That's what their limit is, right? Once you sign up, your clock starts. 5 years later, you're done. And I think they need to have that right. I think they need to have the right to say there's a narrow window when you are eligible to be a part of our organization. After that, you've got to move on. And I just feel like in the spirit of fairness, that organization, for all the ills that the NCAA has done, for all the bad decisions that they've made, for all the stupidity that has been wrought by the NCAA, I still think they have to be allowed this. They have to be allowed to say your eligibility is done at a certain point. Otherwise, what are we even doing?
Yeah, well, there's going to come a point when it's going to mean nothing when it comes to your eligibility requirements. And that's a world that I don't want to live in, because I enjoy college athletics just as much as I enjoy professional athletics. In some cases, I'll admit it, more so.
I enjoy college basketball far more than I enjoy NBA.
That was the unsaid thing that I was going to left.
I actually enjoy college football more than I enjoy NFL.
That I could argue on, but I can't technically because I watch a lot more college football than I do NFL football. But yeah, there's just, I'm afraid that there's going to come a point when eligibility isn't going to matter anymore. And we're going to get stuck in this kind of endless cycle of, well, if you're not going to grant me another year of eligibility, I'll take you to court.
Yeah.
And if I can take you to court with my NIL money, maybe I win, maybe I don't, but it's going to start to prove a point.
And look, there is a reason why this is all happening, and it's because of the money involved. That there's a chance for a player to stick around for another year and make some more money, and so they would like to do that for whatever reason, because they are probably not going to make it in the pros. They don't have any other opportunities outside of the college game, whatever it may be. And look, I'm sympathetic. I understand that there's a chance to make a lot of money playing college football now. But eligibility still has to mean something, and I think that we have to protect that. And I think the NCAA needs to be afforded the same ability as so many other organizations to set their eligibility requirements.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like, it's not arbitrary. It is absolutely done with a purpose and with an intent. So I really feel like, and look, you've seen already the majority of the cases that have come up have been denied. And I think the courts are holding that in most instances, the NCAA's rules are enforceable and fair. There are extenuating circumstances where they have found that a player, for whatever reason, should be afforded an extra year, and those are outlying cases. But I'm hoping that with the, overwhelming majority of these cases being denied, we will see fewer and fewer of them brought into the courts because the precedents are going to be set.
Yes.
And fewer and fewer players are going to be able to have their cases heard because a similar case has already been tried and has already been determined. I mean, it's a new realm of legal classification, so to speak, for college athletics. And hopefully we get this ironed out and we can get back to, you're in college for 5 years, that's your eligibility, barring special circumstances. And look, we had players who used to play for 6 years before. Sometimes they were rare. It was when he got a red shirt, and then he got an injury, and then had to petition the NCAA, and then he got an extra year of eligibility. Sometimes we had 7-year guys in college football. Sometimes it was rare, but it happened. It's just that now the incentive is the money. It's not just completing your eligibility that you are should be afforded. It's because you want to make some more money. And I think I'm hopeful that we'll get all this ironed out and we won't have to hear about it anymore. But there's a new lawsuit out there, and we'll see where it goes. Joey Aguilar denied today. This new one by the Purdue offensive lineman. We will see what comes of it. But it's something that we like to monitor here on After Hours, and there's another one out there, and I'm sure we'll be able to talk to Bob about it next week and get his opinion on how this whole thing is going. It seems to be the only thing we ever talked to Bob about is eligibility lawsuits and NIL and all that stuff. And in my opinion, a lot of people said that NIL was the thing that was going to bring down college athletics, and I don't think it is. If there's anything that can bring it down, it's this eligibility stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's kind of the only thing right now that seems like it's going to really throw a monkey wrench into everyone's plans.
All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and give you the closing arguments here on your Friday night and send you off on your weekend. If you missed any of the last segment, you can always check it out again at 1620thezone.com on the After Hours tab. That's where we live. That's where you can find us for all of our past episodes and segments. Up next, we close it out with the closing arguments here on After Hours on 1620 The Zone.
Short on cash? Get 2 weeks free this month. Furniture, appliances, electronics, or even tires today. And no credit is needed at Ace Rent to Own.
Ace Rent to Own, where we make friends.
The Real real game changer in college athletics? It's coaches. And at Bellevue University, there is an experienced team of coaches who know you both as an athlete and as a person. Plus, there are student coach advisors who are there to provide individualized academic support every step of the way as you progress towards your degree. At Bellevue University, you're not just another athlete. You belong. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
If your brand isn't generating you business, well, it's losing. That's where Sign Ovation steps in. We help Omaha businesses win the visibility game with bold storefront signs and vehicle decals that turn your ride into a rolling billboard. Your brand should be working, even when you're not. Driving impressions, creating leads, and bringing customers through the door. Stop riding the bench. Put your brand in the game. Visit OmahaSignsAndWraps.com tonight. That's OmahaSignsAndWraps.com. Sign Ovation, where brands show up and win.
Ready to make a positive impact in a young boy's life? Join Big Brothers Big Sisters of the Midlands and become a mentor where you are matched up with a boy in the greater Omaha area. Over 50 boys are waiting for someone like you to guide and inspire them. Visit mentoromaha.org and sign up to make a difference in a boy's life. Don't wait. Make a lasting impact today.
Winter may slow pests down, but it's the perfect time to prepare your home for spring. Rodents, spiders, and other pests often show up indoors this time of year. A winter pest control checkup helps seal entry points now so you're not dealing with pests when warmer weather hits. At Recon Pest Services, we're proud to be a local company and supporting causes that make Omaha better. If you're looking for a pest control partner or even support for a cause, think Recon. Visit ReconPestServices.com and get your home ready for a pest-free spring.
Life is unpredictable, with seasonal storms and plumbing issues hiding around every corner. You can't predict the future. So when life happens, go with a trusted, reputable company like Paul Davis Restoration. Fire, water, mold, or storm damage can all be restored by Paul Davis Restoration. Don't live in the aftermath of tragedy. Restore your home today. Call Paul Davis Restoration at 402-553-0373 today.
The Blue Jay Zone is brought to you by Chandler Conway.
Have you been injured in an accident? You shouldn't have to fight with insurance companies or deal with medical bills alone. You need an experienced injury lawyer who'll protect your rights while you focus on healing. At Chandler Conway, our team understands the legal process and will handle your case with dedication. Our goal is simple: to secure the compensation you deserve. Call us today or visit ChandlerConway.com for a free consultation. Don't face this challenge alone. Let us support you every step of the way.
Creighton starting left-hander Eli Nissen was days away from starting the 2025 season when he injured his throwing elbow. Nissen is back after a year of rehab and is a role model in the clubhouse, according to pitching coach Billy Mole.
I hope my kids grow up to be like him one day. How mature he is, how hard he works, and how competitive he is what I didn't really get to find out last year that I found out this year. He's put in all the effort to get healthy again. He's the poster child of what a college athlete should be.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
It's Ram Truck Month at Woodhouse Ram. Receive 0% APR for 60 months on our full lineup of 2026 Ram 1500 Bighorns. 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty with approved credit. Must finance with Stellantis. $299 doc fee due at signing. Expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
You are listening to After Hours with Jimmy Allen on 1620 The Zone.
Well, that song means it's time for us to go home. Closing it out here on a Friday night. Time for our closing arguments. Dan, would you like me to start or would you like to start?
I'll go first because
right.
Yours tend to have a bit more weight within them. I just want to say for all the folks out there, if you haven't been watching the Winter Olympics, you have been missing out. There have been some very great American performances and some great Mike Tirico post performance interviews. I don't know how much more Snoop Dogg I can take during these Olympics, but getting to watch our United States win their first figure skating gold medal in a very hot minute in the women's all-around competition. Amazing. Shout out to Alyssa Liu, especially because her story is so inspiring with her just taking charge of her own journey. And then getting to see Michaela Schifrin win another gold medal after being shut out in 8 straight Olympic events. And after I guess it's appropriate to call it a disaster that was 2022, because that is the term that she has used for it. It's just great to see her back on top of the podium and have that joy in the Olympics once again.
Agreed on all counts, Dan. Well said. Mick Cronin is a jackwagon.
I don't disagree, but
Mick Cronin needs to grow up. His ridiculous display in that post game where he was, I don't even know what to call what he was doing to that, like trying to big dog the reporter that was asking him a question, a legitimate question about how the opposing fans were impacting the game. I think that's a fair question. If he noticed the opposing fans, if that was impacting the play at all. And somehow Mick Cronin took offense to the question and said it's the worst question he's ever been asked. And then when he was offered a rebuttal by the reporter, said, "Are you raising your voice with me?" As if raising your voice with Mick Cronin was a capital crime. No, it isn't, Mick. You yell at referees all the time. You yell at your players all the time. So don't talk to me about raising your voice with someone when a reporter was just trying to defend himself from you berating him for asking a legitimate question. You got to grow up, man. Grow some thicker skin. You're a Division I college basketball coach at UCLA. You're going to be asked questions, and some of them you might not like. That doesn't mean that you're being disrespected or whatever it is that you took that to mean. Just grow up. That's my advice to Mr. Cronin. Well, that's going to do it for us here tonight on the After Hours Lounge. Hope you've enjoyed our show tonight. Thanks. Big thanks to the boys in the night shift for showing up. Captain, J-Man, we will see you next week. Hope you all have a great weekend out there in listener land. And if you missed any of the show tonight, you can always check it out again on the radio replay page at 1620thezone.com. And as always, closing arguments are brought to you by Bob Williams at Williams Law. Let Bob defend you or your loved ones, whether you've got criminal, civil, or personal legal issues. So, for Dan Campion, I'm John Schreiner. Happy National Tartar Sauce Day.
Just malt vinegar, please.
Are you ready for the game changer of the day? Bellevue University has a new state-of-the-art 72,000 square foot field house featuring premium courts, generous fan seating, top-tier locker rooms, dedicated athletic training, and a strength and conditioning space, plus a whole lot more. It's not just a venue, it's a home court advantage. We're for you and for college sports. Visit BUBruins.com.
When you shop local, you help strengthen our community. So if you need roof repair, gutters, siding, even windows, call local Pyramid Contractors. They're the #1 roofer in Omaha for more than a dozen years. Let Pyramid Contractors come and give you a free estimate. Give them a call at 402-502-9300. That's 402-502-9300. Or visit them online at
PyramidRoof.com. Never settle for less.
If you're looking for an authentic Italian experience, look no further than Pasta Amore. For 4 decades, Pasta Amore has been keeping the spark alive for couples in the Omaha area with their homemade pasta, made fresh every day. Our hand-picked selection of exceptional wines will put the nightcap on your evening that you expect. Open every day at 4. Stop by Pasta Amore in Rockbrook Village and enjoy dining in the romantic dining room or relax on our shaded patio.
News Talk 1290 Coil is your home for Omaha Mavericks hockey. Don't miss a single puck drop, power play, or any of the action this season. Your home for Mavericks hockey, home and away, is News Talk 1290 Coil.
Stop into your nearest Cubby's in Nebraska, Western Iowa, and South Dakota for top quality fuel, hot and fresh food, plus that local spirit that you'll always find at Cubby's. Whether it's a dash in for a drink and a snack, or you're swinging by one of our select locations to grab dinner from Chester's Chicken or Godfather's Pizza Express, Cubby's has you covered. And don't forget your Bear Bucks rewards card for rewards and extra savings. Cubby's, the very best in convenience.
AX Plumbing has the cold weather deals. So if your hot water isn't so hot anymore, you can't afford to pass up on these deals. Tankless water heaters are $450 off. Traditional water heaters are $200 off. And for those real hard water problems, water softeners are $300 off. Stop by AXP Service tonight and fix your water heater before it gets too cold outside. AX Plumbing. We'll leave your home or your business cleaner than we found it.
So Brenda, what are you doing at MCC?
I'm retired now, so I have the time to take continuing education classes.
James, where are you off to?
I just graduated with my degree in civil engineering technology. Now I'm ready for my future to take off.
Kelly, you're on a new path too?
Yes, I'm taking the EKG Technician Career Prep at MCC before getting nationally certified.
Metropolitan Community College. Whether you're just starting or switching up your career, start today so you can say,
"This is me at MCC."
Classes start March 5th.
Save up to $3,250 off MSRP plus 0.9% APR for 36 months on the 2026 Buick Enclave. Woodhouse Buick GMC. We are professional grade. With approved credit, must finance with GM Financial. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer applies to select stock numbers. Offer expires March 31st, 2026. See dealer for details.
Car repair is car repair. Most places you go can change your oil or fix your brakes. The difference is the experience you'll get at Omaha Car Care. We're part of the community. We were born here. And we believe that our relationship with you should be built to last. We're going to consult you, not sell you. We're going to give you a free loaner car. We're going to treat you like a valued friend that we want to continue to see in the years to come. I'm Rick Betker, owner of Omaha Car Care, and we'll be along for the ride.
KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.